CNN just released the clips from their anticipated interview tonight with Kamala Harris. It's ridiculous this is a thing because she's given thousands of interviews in her career. I don't know why it matters now. The media made a stink about nothing, but this is where we are. I'm glad the folks watching this aren't buying into it, but let's watch clips. I think they're pretty good. Here is her being asked why or how her values have changed or how our positions have changed. And I think her answer is fantastic.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
So smart. Let me just tell you what she was doing there. First off, she's not getting tripped up. She's obviously knew this question was going to come because it's something that the right has been pushing and so expertly. So you notice that she repeated that 3 or 4 times. My values have not changed. My values have not changed. First off, Americans, generally speaking, don't care if you're a flip-flopper. They don't care. They just want to know that you believe what you believe now. And a lot of people, their positions change as they get more information, as they get older, as life circumstances happen. There might be someone who is against abortion until they need to get one themselves, and suddenly they can't imagine ever just making that decision for someone else. So flip-flopping isn't a big deal. People always want to make it a big deal. It's not a big deal. But you do need an explanation. That's a great explanation where she's basically like, here are the things I believe today. My values have not changed. So she's not really apologizing for anything, but she is giving a great explanation. So smart. Okay, in this second clip, Kamala Harris says that she would potentially put a Republican in her cabinet. I also think this is a really smart idea. Also, it's an unexpected answer, so it's going to generate a lot of news, and it kind of takes the wind out of Trump's sails. I'll explain all that after, but let's just watch this. I think it's so smart.
Had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone in mind?
Yes, I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse. But I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
Had a lot of Republican speakers.
So, okay, again, really smart. I think what she's doing here, it has been shown, polling has shown that a majority of Americans, either Democrats, Independent, or Republicans, want more unity in the country. So this answer here, and also smart of Dana Bash I hate to compliment her, but smart of her to ask that because it is something that people want. And Trump has been trying to provide it in his own little way, his own idiotic way with having RFK Jr., who really is just MAGA light, and Tulsi Gabbard, who is, again, just like a Russian plant. Seemingly people who were Democrats who are now Republicans join his like transition team. So he's trying to do that too, but it's obviously not a totally different thing to say like I will have a real Republican on in my cabinet versus Donald Trump, who's like, hey, here are these people who are no longer in the Democratic Party on my team. It's just like night and day. So really smart here too. And so I'm really looking forward to this interview. I think it's probably going to be great. I do think that this kind of puts a mark in the sand. At least I personally believe, let's see what happens. We'll come back to this in a week or so. Remind me when I say this, that I said this, but I do think that the media is going to pivot now. And I think they're going to, I mean, they have already in many ways, but I think this is like where the pivot point happens, where they are just out for anything bad. They want to make this seem as much of a horse race as possible. And they don't like that Kamala Harris is not speaking to them. And so they are now, the mission for them is to make her look as bad as possible and try to cover for Trump. That's what I think is going to happen. We will see. Meghan McCain tried doing her own version of that today, and it did not go well for her. She said this. Okay, Brian Teller Cohen, let me just get you to the tree of it all. Okay, so Meghan McCain says, I don't know if Democrats fully realize how damaging the image of the possible first woman president being incapable of giving an interview alone without the presence of a man to help her is. Idiotic thing to say. Brian Tyler Cohen, who's a friend of the channel, said, okay, Meghan, with this. Great. And then Meghan replied, which just kind of set everything on fire. Meghan replied, my dad did thousands of interviews alone, and with Sarah. He wasn't hiding like a coward from the press the way Kamala is right now. I know. I was there the entire time. Any comparison is not only politically ignorant, but lazy. First off, I go, very cool. Who won the election that year? But other people chimed in. I think they're all really great. Your dad did 3 to 5. Okay, this might be mean, but I thought it was like really cutting. Your dad did like 3 or 5 good things in his entire life, and fathering you was not one of them. That's an ouch. That's an ouch. Almost like it's okay for men to do it, but not women. That's sexism. So true. Look at this. Everyone has done this. They've done sit-down interviews. It's like the smartest way and the best way and the easiest way to introduce your ticket. This guy says, Brendan says, lest Meghan McCain ever forget, Sarah Palin, yes. Sarah Palin said things so weird, she ended an uninterrupted 50-year streak of Republican control of Alaska's House seat, years after John McCain started chaperoning her interviews. Also, yeah, he's right. Mary Patola, who is the Democratic Congresswoman from Alaska, is awesome. Neiman said, can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish you were back on TV. That way you wouldn't be flooding the timeline with this idiocy. Losing is in your blood. You have no license to advise anyone on politics, fashion, health. I don't even want you to tell you how. Wait, I don't want to tell you how to tell me how to get to Sesame Street. What? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, Meghan McCain, have you ever done anything ever with your life that is like your dad lost a presidential race, okay? And what have you done? What have you done that gives you the perch on which you sit to be like this political savant? Harris isn't hiding. She is riding the momentum. She doesn't owe the press anything. And why give the Trump campaign something to pick apart? I think that's exactly right. I think the strategy has been pitch perfect. Kamala Harris is out there. She's doing a rally right now as I'm recording this. So she's out there talking to voters. She might not be out there talking to voters in the way that they want, but she did the thing. And here's what's going to happen is the press is going to find one thing to pick apart. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is posting QAnon conspiracy theory posts. He is posting derogatory sexist things about Kamala Harris. All of that gets a pass. And they are going to pick apart one thing from this interview and ride it until the debate. Guarantee. I mean, not guarantee, but let's see. That would be my guess. But I'm looking forward to watching it. I can't live stream it tonight because I'm afraid I'm going to get a copyright strike. So I will just give you my thoughts. I'll do like I'll just watch it back and give you some thoughts on it. But I'm sure it's gonna be great. Looking forward to watching it.
I know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?